Hey guys, so we're going to be covering long distance running. To start off, professional long distance running can vary. You have different training goals and routines based on what you're trying to do, whether it is a marathon or track and field or the Olympics, etc. The dieting, however, is more or less the same. It's also very similar to other athletic sports. There are certain categories of food that are good, others that are not so good, and things that are must-haves. As for the categories that long distance falls under, it can vary, but there are 3 that are definitely good ones for it. The training goals and routines change based on which one you're going to do. You have your marathon runners who do extreme distances at lower intensities, and they need to be able to last forever. And you've got your track distance runners. They'll be running anywhere from 800 to 1500s to 3000s, 5000s. They need to be able to have the higher intensity with faster runs and the ability to sprint at the end for a good kick. The physical goals, however, are more or less the same. You need to have the extremely high endurance and strength in your legs. You need to be able to run the same on a flat as you do on a hill, and you need to be able to know when to abuse the downhills and when to use them. However, it's not limited to just your legs. You still need a very strong core and upper body so that you can support yourself while you're running. Continuing on, the training goals you want to have are very, very similar to every other athletic workout. You have an initial startup, nice and easy. You don't want to start straight away at the top. And when you're doing your workout, never increase your intensity or your distance by more than 10 to 15% per week. And start off slow. Do a 5K, then a 10K, then a half marathon, and then finish with a full marathon. As for routines, establish a set routine. Join a club, because running with others is always easier and always better. Former cross-country runners will all tell you the same thing. When they're running with their team, the majority of the time they tended to run better and they were happier, because they would all feed off of each other and support each other. And remember, you need to be consistent. If you have a bad week, it's okay, but just keep at it. When you're dieting, the things that are ideal for you are ideal for pretty much any high endurance sport. You need your carbohydrates and lots of them. Your carbohydrates are your basic fuel for your body. Without that, your body won't be able to support itself, won't be able to do the workout, and honestly, it's just better to have it. For your greens, you need those for nutrients. Nutrients basically make your body run better. They can optimize your workout, and in the end, it'll just be a better experience for you. And as for proteins, your body needs the proteins so it can build up your muscles at the end of the workout. Because as you work out, you damage your muscles and they need to be repaired. And as they get repaired, they become stronger. And the more protein you have, the more repairs you can do, and in the end, you can just get a much, much stronger body. But the proteins that you want to avoid are the heavy proteins, like red meat and anything fried. Try to go for the lighter ones, like the poultry or the fish or even nuts. Protein supplements, even though many of them don't really taste that good, are also really, really good for this as well. The categories that it falls under, well, it's got more than one. You've got your muscular endurance. You need to have extremely high endurance because you're going to be repeating that motion over and over and over of your legs going forward, back. Very good to have. You need the cardiorespiratory endurance. Long distance running is almost exclusively aerobic. The further you run, the harder it becomes for your body to get the oxygen, so you end up breathing harder and harder and harder. And the better your cardiorespiratory endurance, the more efficient your body will be, the longer you can go. And you need flexibility. It may not seem like it, but you actually really do. The higher the range of motion, the better your body will operate. You can have much larger, smoother, longer, slower strides, which will not only conserve energy, but will also allow you to increase your speed when you need to. And everybody knows the rules for hills. Swing your arms and lift your knees. With higher flexibility, it just becomes that much easier.
Hi guys, my name is Tiffany and today I'm going to be talking to you about tennis. So starting off with the basics, tennis is played with a ball and a racket on a court with a low net. It usually involves 2 to 4 players whose goals are to accumulate more points than their opponents on the opposite side of the net. We have two different types of games. Singles games have two players, one on each side of the net, and their in-game boundaries are smaller than the regular size of the court. For a doubles game, they use the entirety of the court, and like the name has it, there are two players on each side. Some popular professional players that you may know include, of course, Serena and Venus Williams. We have Maria Sharapova, Roger Federer, and the new Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka. Starting off with the daily training, we're going to go over fundamentals first. We have the ground stroke, which is the utmost basic maneuver that you would need for tennis. Forehand and backhand are like they sound. You use the front part of your hand to swing forward and hit the ball. Backhand is the opposite, where you use the back of your hand to swing forward. Top spins and other additional tactics are added once the basics like forehand and backhand ground stroke are mastered. Volleying is a defensive mechanism that's used at the net. You may not go over the net in order to hit your opponent's ball, but you can block it from your side before it reaches the back of your court. And overhand serves are the only serves permitted in official tennis matches. When people are learning how to serve, at first they use their ground stroke, eventually going over to a volley, and then going to an overhead serve. Another essential of basic training for tennis is footwork. Players are trained to be light and agile on their feet in order to get from one point to another in a very small amount of time. And they will always stay on the balls of their feet because it's easier to move that way. The last fundamental that people tend to work on is physical fitness, with an emphasis on strength, speed, and agility. Agility as mentioned in footwork. Speed goes hand in hand with agility in order to get to one area of the court to return the ball. And strength in order to pack some punch into either your serve or your strokes. Looking at tennis from an ESS perspective, we're going to look at cardio first. Tennis isn't really considered cardio, although there's an emphasis on it in the training, just due to movement and agility. The training often involves running, sprints, suicides, laps around the court, just to make sure that you're quick and agile on your feet. Next is muscular strength, and it's needed to control the depth of the hits that you have to return, the hits that you have to take, serves, etc. And this is shown by long workouts, high reps, and light weight. And lastly, we have muscular endurance, just in the case of matches that are drawn out, especially in a stalemate, and the player will have more stamina for an optimum performance within their matches. In comparison to cross country, shared goals include agility and speed for covering distances, both short and long, and flexibility to manipulate the body as desired, more for endurance with cross country, and range of motion for tennis. For differences, strength is not as necessary in cross country as it is in tennis, and competition-wise, running is mostly self-competition and can be applied to competition with others, while tennis always includes a foreign opponent in order to hold a match. Running is in the basis of almost every sport, and many goals and core basics of cross-country or running can be applied to a variety of different sports. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope that you learned a lot about cross-country and tennis, as well as their training methods, and a little more about the game basics.